The point is, I no longer have the funding to purchase my property that I want in Belize and start the business that I want. So, what I think I'm gonna do now is just ride.
Don't you know we're the walking dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. Fear and hatred, dull and jaded. It's all been debated and manipulated. Nothing's ever as it seems. We're bound to believe everything they scream. Don't you know we're the walking dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead. Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, everyone? I'm Andy Wilson. I'm 33 years old. I just sold my house, quit my job, bought a 500 EXC KTM, and I'm gonna ride from Ontario, Canada to Central America, maybe even South America, I don't know. First off, I just wanna thank everyone who subscribed since my last video. You guys are amazing. I think more than quadrupled my subscriber count since the last video, so thank you, cheers, and I really appreciate it. I did say in my last video that I'm gonna try and put out a video once a week. Maybe once I'm on the road, that's gonna be easier, but for now, I'm not gonna put out a video unless it's entertaining. Yeah, I don't wanna release any crap, so. But I feel like I need to just basically tell my story and let you guys know why I'm doing this and what the heck is going on. So where do I even start? Yeah, back when I was in high school, I had a keen interest in photography. I was into music, photography, dirt bikes. I think when I was in grade 12, it was the last year of film photography in the photo classroom. So I took photo class, and I remember talking to the guidance counselor, and I don't want to say like, oh, she convinced me not to become a photographer, but at the time I was torn between doing something involving my mechanical ability, because I was working on my dirt bikes all the time. So anyways, I did this full day co-op at the hydroelectric dam where I was from, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And I remember talking to the guidance counselor, and she said, well, photography is great, but it's not a steady paycheck. Whereas like if you pursue the millwright thing, it's probably going to be a more steady paycheck. At the time I figured, well, why not do the millwright thing? And that's what I did. So I went to college up in Sudbury, Ontario, took the millwright program. So yeah, I ended up getting hired by a very large power generation company here in Ontario as a mechanical maintainer technician at the nuclear power plant, which was awesome. Like I think I was 19 when I got hired full time, and I got this full-time job, and you know, wasn't minimum wage, we'll put it that way. And for the first couple of years, I thought it was great. To be honest, it wasn't even that far into my career when I started to kind of realize that I just don't really enjoy the work. Yeah, I just started to feel like I was getting up every day to do something that I wasn't totally interested in. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a badass job. I got to see some really cool stuff. But all in the meantime, I had been dirt biking like as often as I could. I just couldn't stop riding. I think when I first started my job, I was riding about 4 times a week. Like as often as I could ride, I was out. And then I got into racing. Like when I first started dirt biking, I never set out to become a racer, but So I had met these brothers, the Lewis brothers. I was out riding in a sand pit. I saw these kids, I think they were with their dad. They were riding this sand track and they were blowing up these big berms, and I'd taken a couple cell phone shots, and I got the kid's number. I was like, hey, I got a good shot of you, whatever, I'll pass the photo along. So I became friends with these kids, and they convinced me to come out and race, which I was kind of nervous to do. I had no idea where I stood, like, you know, as far as skill level went, but I'd been riding for a few years, so I entered the expert class, and I think I got second or third in my first race. So I was like, holy crap, okay, this is something that I really enjoy doing. I'm pretty decent at it, and I could work harder and get even better. So I started racing in the expert class, and I think I only raced that class for 1 year, and then I bumped up to the pro class. And that was pretty crazy, rubbing shoulders with those guys and realizing that I fit in, and you know, I was a pro class contender. And it even got to the point where I did win one race. I got first place in the pro class at the Mexican 500. I think that was in 2017. Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. One thing I will add to that is that that particular race, Larry Enticer, AKA Bennett Amiot, entered that race from the expert class, and he whooped us all by like 30 seconds. So I was in the pro class, I won the pro class, and Larry beat us all by like 30 seconds. So I didn't get the overall, but it was my one and only pro class win. The last, I want to say 5 years, I knew that I wasn't gonna last at my job. I knew that I needed to do something different. I was waking up every morning, not wanting to go to work, and just feeling unsatisfied. And it's nothing against my employer. You know, the job was great. It wasn't a job where you have to go in and totally bust your ass every day. It was a steady workflow. It was great pay, it was benefits, overtime. It really, I don't want to sound like, oh, you know, I had it rough and, you know, I deserve sympathy. I'm not looking for sympathy by any means. I just wanted to do something that felt slightly more fulfilling, and I knew that I love riding dirt bikes and I love traveling. So in 2016, I visited Belize with my girlfriend at the time, and I loved it. There's just something about that country that just instantly had a place in my heart, and I knew I needed to go back and visit again. I think the next year we visited Costa Rica, which was amazing. I loved Costa Rica. And I'd love to go back. There was just still something about Belize that had me captivated. The next year we went back and visited again, and we visited the same snorkeling guides. Shout out to my buddy Steve. We went snorkeling with him again. We had met him our first time there and kept in touch. So we went snorkeling with him and just had a great time. We saw more of the country this time, and I just knew that I needed to be down there. The last 5 or 6 years, I've had it in my mind that I needed to move south and do something. And originally my idea was to move down there and buy a property and build like a little eco resort and eventually offer guided dirt bike tours. And that's been my plan for 5 or 6 years now. But in the last couple months, things have happened that have changed the course of my plan, mostly financially. As most of you know, the housing market last year was crazy, through the roof. Prices were nuts, house values were way overinflated, and I thought to myself, well, that would be the perfect time to sell my house and get maximum profit for it and move down south. So originally my plan was to move to Belize and buy a nice acreage up in the hills and build an off-grid eco lodge. I decided that, okay, now's the time to sell the house and quit my job, which is exactly what I did. Long story short, the housing market had cooled off by the time I sold my house, and the interest rates started to skyrocket, which totally killed my pension payout from work, which was a huge bummer because I was already, you know, the process had already started. My house was listed, I was all in. I put my notice in at work and I got my pension package in the mail, and I almost threw up when I saw the numbers. The interest rates went up and my pension payout took a nosedive. So not only did I not quite get what I wanted for the house, but my pension payout was slashed significantly, which was brutal. So it was about the time that my ex and I broke up that I decided, well, instead of flying down there to Belize, why don't I ride my bike? That would be an amazing adventure. And that idea quickly took off, and I started doing all sorts of research, and I totally decided that I'm riding a bike down there. I decided on the 500 EXC. I debated buying a bigger bike for the trip, but in the end, I want a bike that I could strip all my luggage off and still ride like a dirt bike. So, the point is, I no longer have the funding to purchase my property that I want in Belize and start the business that I want. I took that loss when I decided to go ahead with quitting my job and selling my house when I did. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. I just don't have the funds to start the business that I wanted to. So, what I think I'm gonna do now is just ride. I'm still gonna go to Belize. I'm still gonna go through the States and through Mexico, but I think I'm not gonna stop at Belize. I think I might just do all of Central America, and then I might even continue to South America. I don't know yet. I don't have a route planned out. I don't have a timeline. I think I'm just gonna ride my dirt bike until I either make it on YouTube or run out of money. I'm probably only gonna get this opportunity once. Well, fingers crossed, but a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a once in a lifetime trip. I kind of want to make it my life. I want to make a living riding my dirt bike somehow, some way. Whether it's YouTube, whether it's tours, whether it's offering classes. Somehow, some way, I'm going to make money riding my dirt bike. I don't even care about money too much. I don't want to get rich. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to ride. And I want that lifestyle that comes along with being my own boss. That's another thing. I got my first job when I was in like grade 3. So I've been working for someone else for 25 years or something like that. Longer? I don't know. I've been working for someone else for a long time, and I want to be my own boss now. So that's kind of the long and short of it. I didn't like my job anymore. I just felt like I was doing something I didn't want to do just for a paycheck, trading my life for money, and I'm over that now. I think quitting there was definitely the right choice for me personally. It was the right thing to do, and I have no regrets. I have no regrets about selling my house when I did. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go. So yeah, what else is there to say, really? I do want to see the southwestern states. I do plan on riding down the Baja Peninsula. I want to see the Copper Canyon. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in Mexico I want to see. Definitely want to go to Belize. I want to see Guatemala. I want to see all of Central America. And now I'm kind of getting the bug to go to South America. I want to see Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, maybe Argentina, Colombia. So who knows, man? I don't know. I'm just going to go ride my dirt bike and make videos and hope for the best and see what happens. So that's my plan. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And after that last video where I quadrupled my subscribers, that was a big boost. Definitely a kick in the butt to film more content, which I definitely have planned. I'm waiting on a big parts order still. I still have a little bit of business to take care of. I have my car to sell, and that's that. I'm getting pretty anxious to leave. I'm definitely going to miss everyone. And a lot of people have said, you know, in the last couple months, oh my gosh, you must be so excited to go do this journey and all that. And the truth is, yes, I am, but it's not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of business to take care of. There's a lot of people to say goodbye to. I had to rehome my animals, my pig, my cats, chickens, ducks. That was really hard, especially the pig. Man, it's like giving up your dog pretty much, you know? And I love that guy, and I love my cats. I loved my fiance, and we broke up and split up and went our separate ways. And to be honest, to be perfectly honest, the last few months have been the hardest months of my life. Wondering if I made the right choice, saying goodbye to everyone, getting rid of all my possessions, my drums, my vinyl collection. If there's one material item that I miss, it's my record collection and my sound system. I love music, and giving that up has been pretty tough. It's been a trip. It's been rough saying goodbye to everyone. Last weekend I was at the Corduroy Enduro, and it kind of hit me mid-weekend that it was my last hurrah with the Ontario off-road community, which it was a real bummer, man. Like, it was nice to see everyone, but it was really bittersweet. You know, leaving that weekend thinking, well, you know, that was my last big race. I feel a bit more prepared. My Spanish is still no bueno, but I've been slowly working on that. I think I'm definitely going to work on it more before I get to Mexico, just to make my life easier and to basically just improve the experience. So yeah, I have a lot more to talk about, like specifics about the bike. I guess probably more about me, but for now that's the quick intro. I don't really know what else to say other than cheers. Thank you for following me, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I think I'm going to, and we'll see you out there. Thank you. Hey everyone, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I know this episode was a lot of talking and not a whole lot of action. And the next episode, I'm taking the 500 up north and I'm gonna race it. So we're gonna see what the 500 is all about before I go on this journey. So thanks for following. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. It really helps. And I'll see you next episode.